Alright, so this is going to be somewhat interesting. I'm going to try to stream both Hearthstone and Elite at the same time. Thanks to the Oculus Dash, I can have a Hearthstone window right here in my cockpit. And that means I can play two games at the same time, which actually is kind of appropriate for Elite, since for the most part, a lot of this is just traveling from point A to point B, and there's a bit of looking around and enjoying the scenery, but after a while, for long enough distances, that starts to become a little, I don't want to say tedious, but close enough. Alright, hold on a sec. Just get myself into the pilot's chair. Comfortable. Alright, there we go. And get myself situated. And we are right outside of NGC 7822. And that is where we're headed. We'd like to get to the Heart Nebula. And I'd like to find some new stars that haven't really been found by anybody else, but I think that's going to be a bit of a challenge, because everybody and their brother has been out to NGC 7822, it seems, since there's so many black holes here. And the Heart Nebula is kind of the same deal, but for slightly different reasons, apparently. The story suggests a lot of these generation ships, or whatever was going on with the original eradication of the Thargoids, involves something all the way out there. Who knows, maybe that's been their trek. Maybe they came from originally the Heart and Soul Nebula, and then the Thargoids perhaps parked in NGC 7822, and then ended up going to the California Nebula. If I can, let's see, where is this? Surprisingly, the California Nebula is kind of tiny. It can be kind of hard to see. North American Nebula. Yeah, there it is. It's right there. So yeah, that's my current hunch. It's been their trek. Though, when you look at the actual decals on the Thargoid ships, it looks more like this. It looks more like Bernard's Loop, so who knows? And we do know that apparently there is a bit of a settlement around Bernard's Loop. It's in the Call 70 sector. So perhaps my theory is completely wrong, or maybe there are two different Thargoid groups. One Thargoid group originated in Bernard's Loop, and the other in Heart and Soul Nebula, maybe? It's possible. It looks a little bit better without all the bookmarks. Anyhow, alright, let me situate the windows. Since you're not going to be able to see them, unfortunately. And yes, I am using the soundtrack from FTL. Makes for a fairly... Alright, so... well, I think I might have to reorganize all of this a bit. Alright, so I'm gonna put you there, and then let's grab this. Wow, there we go.
Programming the input drone.
Oops, that was not intentional.
Programming the input drone.
Link 2 selected.
Great, that's another limpet drone gone. Maybe I'll just do it this way. Cab is... maybe I will have to take this off. There we go. And now I have Hearthstone. Alright. And we can minimize that. Put you back up there so you're out of sight. Good. Good. And we can now... Actually, I'm going to keep you too. Well, that's unfortunate. Alright, 1 second. I have to take off the headset. Alright, it is April 16th. It is about probably close to noon. What time is it? Time.
The time is 11:45 a.m.
Yeah, close enough to noon. And I have a new layout that I'm shooting for today. Basically, I want to have Hearthstone inside of Elite. I think that because the game is primarily a game of traveling from point A to point B, and for the most part you're just looking at the scenery as you do that, why not have a game within a game? So I've already tried this a couple of times, and surprisingly it works pretty well thanks to the Oculus Dash. You can have one of the viewports kind of towards the base of the ship. You just look at that and let the ship go straight ahead, and hopefully you're not headed towards a star or a planet, and you should be just fine. And thus far it's worked pretty well. And to make this visible, I'm going to use this over here. Hopefully there. Yeah, so you can now see in the viewport in the bottom right that Hearthstone is visible. Unfortunately, it does require regular input, otherwise it does time out. So, I wouldn't be surprised if during this playthrough, if it ends up losing the viewport in the bottom right as I focus on things that are more Elite-centric. Also, I have the tool that I use for streaming. It is pretty handy because it provides different scenes you can configure. So right now, obviously, I don't have Hearthstone visible. And then if I wanted to just do Hearthstone full screen, we can do that as well. But for the time being, we'll do this kind of hybrid overlay, see how well that works. I don't know what to expect, honestly, but hopefully it's gonna work. We'll see. And move this back over here. Well, actually, no, I'm gonna leave that like that. Alright, and actually have even another view too for the browser. So, like if I currently want to know something, say about a red dwarf, I can just say, read.
Red Dwarf. This article is about the type of star.
Next.
For the television sitcom, a red dwarf is a small and relatively cool star on the main sequence of M spectral type. Red dwarfs range in mass.
So you get the idea. It allows you to kind of see the article that I'm reading at the same time. Anyhow, so this is a new layout, and I think it'll work pretty well. I currently have FTL playing in the background. Hopefully this is not against some copyright violation nonsense. We'll see. We'll see. And I'm trying to keep all the windows to a minimum, otherwise Oculus Dash starts to get a little upset. There we go, let's put you here. That out of the way of my actual visible ship, put that to the rear of the ship. And I'm going to put on my virtual hand so I can play some Hearthstone at the same time while playing Elite. And let's see how well this works. Should be pretty funny, honestly. Yeah, I'm actually ranking up pretty well. I'm currently rank 4. So I have, of course, a Shutterwalk deck like everybody else does. But before we start playing Hearthstone, let's get our plan together for our trip out to the Heart Nebula. Alright, I guess my current plotted route is as good as I could hope. Maybe I'll do a little searching for some neutron stars. Let's see what we got. Yeah, non-sequence stars are selected. Kind of hard to come by. But who knows, maybe we'll see one roughly along the plot that we've currently set for ourselves. They are faint as well, even the icon is this very light gray. I think they intentionally did that because they don't want people taking advantage of the extra jump distance, even though it damages your ship. I'm not seeing anything. How many jumps? Actually, that looks like it's one. Hey, what do you know? There we go. We actually found a... No... What is that? Let's go to a... Let's go to the realistic view. Oh, it's just a blue class star. Oh, unfortunate. I guess I got really lucky pathing to find the neutron star with the last one. Yeah, no neutron stars along this current route, but as I do the individual jumps, so I'll keep looking. Shaves off good 4 or 5. It's a shame it isn't a little bit higher. Alright, so C20 current system is not too interesting. It's already been explored like crazy. Wonder how many limpet drones did I blow out? Yeah. Alright, so I've lost all of my limpets, unfortunately. Oh, that's unfortunate, but what are you gonna do? Oh, hold on. Cargo scope.
Cargo scope deployed.
You can see on my radar there are 2 icons in white right behind me. I think those are my limpets. Here, let me... Yeah. They are. That's funny. But they're trailing my ship. That's weird. Oh, they're expiring. That's sad. How sad.
Collector limpet expired.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Oh well. Cargo scoop. Into the sun you go. I had a mishap where I was clicking around the UI, and because I was using my virtual hand in the process, I guess the A button counts as fire collector limpet. I had the same mistake when I was trying to do the same thing, but I was on the secondary group, and then I ended up firing off my heat sinks, which is a little bit scarier, because those heat sinks potentially can save you from life or death. Anyhow, 21 light years, let's do it.
Cannot comply. Cannot comply.
Those hard points away. Cargo scoop. Cargo scoop.
Frameshift drive charging.
Throttle up. And the star we're going to is Class K Yellow Orange. Outdoors DZ-N. Anarchy system, obviously. Unknown,
Prepare for
unknown.
hyperspace to system outdoors DZ-NC20-1. Orange main sequence K-star. Scoopable. Make it so. Arrive at outdoors DZ-NC20-1. First visit, jump distance 21.1 light years, fuel used 1.5 tons, fuel left 27.2 tons. Total of 1 star and 6 planets in the system.
Total of 1 star. Looks like
Scan
3
star
stars to
outdoors
me.
DZ-NC20-1A, orange main sequence K-star, 2,911 credits, 0.7 stellar masses, absolute magnitude 6.6, orbital period 272.7249 days, habitable zone 174 to 346 light seconds, age 6.59 billion years.
Fuel scooping.
Pretty old, 6.9 billion years. I wonder if that's true for most K-class stars. Well, I guess we can find out, can't we? Here, let's type it in.
Fuel scooping complete.
Alright.
Scoop 4.82 tons of fuel, fuel level is now 32 tons.
Read new.
K-type main sequence star. For K-dwarf partially convective stars less than 0.5 solar masses, see red dwarf. A K-type main sequence star, KV, also referred to as an orange dwarf or K-dwarf, is a main sequence, hydrogen-burning, star of spectral type K and luminosity class 5. These stars are intermediate in size between red M-type main sequence stars, red dwarfs, and yellow G-type main sequence stars. They have masses between 0.45 and 0.8 times the mass of the Sun and surface temperatures between 3,900 and 5,200 K. Better known examples include Alpha Centauri b, K1b, and Epsilon Indi. These stars are of particular interest in the search for extraterrestrial life because they are stable on the main sequence for a very long time, 15 to 30 billion years,
All done.
compared to 10 billion for the Sun. Like M-type stars, they tend to have a very small mass leading to their extremely long lifespan that offers plenty of time for life to develop on orbiting Earth-like terrestrial planets. In addition, K-type stars emit less ultraviolet radiation, which can damage DNA and thus hamper the emergence of life, than G-type stars like the Sun. K-type main sequence stars are also about 3 to 4 times as abundant as G-type main sequence stars, making planet searches easier.
Read.
Well,
So that's kind of funny. Basically, that means since we're on a G-class star, we've had to be slightly more formidable than possibly life that exists around K-class stars. In a way, that makes me think that in the areas of space where life is more inhospitable, like around a black hole or a neutron star, any life that develops around there is going to be incredibly hardy. And that probably is bad for us, because that means if you can deal with adversity in a way that other species can't, you're more than likely to be able to dominate them. Anyhow, let's continue to hear the article. Read. Read?
While M-type stars are also very abundant, they are more likely to have tidally locked planets in orbit, thereby producing solar flares that would more easily strike nearby rocky planets, making it much harder for life to develop. Due to their greater heat, the habitable zones of K-type stars are also much wider than those of M-type stars. For all of these reasons, they may be the most favorable stars to focus on in the search for exoplanets and extraterrestrial life in the universe, especially if they are cooler, K6v, K9v. Specifically those of the stellar class K 7.5 volts temperate. Contents: hide 1 spectral standard stars, 2 temperature, 3 planets, 4 see also. 5 references: spectral standard stars, edit. The revised Yerkes Atlas system, Johnson and Morgan 1953, listed 12 K-type dwarf spectral standard stars, however not all of these have survived to this day as standards. The anchor points for the MK classification system among the K-type main sequence dwarf stars, i.e. those standard stars that have remained unchanged over the years, are Epsilon Eridani, K2v, and 61 Cygni A, K5v. Other primary MK standard stars include 70 Ophiuchi K0v, 107 Piscium K1v, HD 219134 K3v, TW Piscis Austrini K4v, 61 Cygni B K7v.
Read.
Based on the example set in some references, e.g. Johnson and Morgan 19.
That is a beautiful view, isn't it? Imagine if there was life on this planet right here, and that was the view that it had in its night sky. I mean, our view of the Milky Way is something else to behold, but I mean, they have that too, and they would have this in addition to that kind of view. Not to mention the huge black cloud over there. That would be incredible. Absolutely incredible. Really makes me think that, in a way, Earth doesn't have the greatest view in the galaxy. It's sort of like if you had a choice to live in the Midwest versus living, say, in Los Angeles, right in the Hollywood Hills, right near the ocean. Which would you choose? Most people would probably pick living right around Beverly. Music, stop. Stop. Music, stop. Sorry. That's pretty funny. I guess the words that I said triggered Fubar to play my 70s music. Anyhow, music, play Apollo. Music, Apollo. Music, Interstellar. Play Interstellar. Music, play list previous. Play Interstellar. Play Interstellar. Play Interstellar. Play list previous. Play Apollo. Play Apollo. Play FTL. Play FTL. Oh, my little script, I guess, can use some work. Play. Music, stop. That's funny. There we go. Just do it manually. Anyhow, so well, since for the most part we are really kind of focusing on Elite at the moment, I guess I will disable Hearthstone in the corner. We'll just make Elite Dangerous full screen. But once I start playing Hearthstone, I'll put it back up. And it's kind of funny, the area that I'm looking right now on the ship, which is where my hand is on the flight stick, is roughly where I currently have Hearthstone. It's a shame that it just doesn't show the overlay directly in the game. Then I wouldn't have to do the overlay in the video editing tool. Probably would even save a few CPU cycles to make everything a little bit faster. Anyhow, continuing with what I was talking about, if you had the choice of being able to live in Beverly Hills, or even on, like, the Palisades, that's probably preferable than living in the Midwest. And the same thing is probably true with our galaxy. There are probably spots that are just sought after for their views or their access to resources. And if you ask me, this would be one of those spots. Beautiful view of a nearby nebula, the dark cloud in the distance overlaying the Milky Way. Yeah, it just seems cool to me. Then again, you might also be really worried about certain stars that are likely to go nova. And who knows, maybe being in the vicinity of things like this that makes you more exposed. Cool looking planet. I don't know if you can hear in the background, but my Nande Kinor is flipping out because she hears me talking and I'm not giving that attention to her. She is a very selfish little girl. It's a cool looking planet. I do wonder why sometimes these lines that represent the orbits freak out like this. Maybe it's just a VR thing. Alright, so, I don't think I'm gonna travel the tens of thousands of light years just to go see this other K-class star, even though I'm interested in K-class stars. Let's finish hearing the article. Read.
Johnson and Morgan 1953, Keenan and McNeil 1989. Many authors consider the step between K7V and MOV to be a single subdivision, and one rarely encounters K8 or K9 classifications in the literature.
Frameshift drive
Recent,
charging.
however, HIP 111,288 K8V and HIP 3,261 K9V have been proposed as spectral standard stars.
Read.
Temperature at
That's interesting.
Prepare for hyperspace to
like
system
a
outdoors OZ-GD
K9
T Tauri,
obviously is
non-scoopable.
not very hot.
Warp drive engaging.
It's a spectral standard star. What I guess is like a standard candle or something?
Arrive at outdoors OZ-GD 10-3, first visit, jump distance 16.9 light years, fuel used 0.9 tons, fuel left 31.1 tons. Total of 1 star and 0 planets in this system.
Spoke too soon. Not just 1 star.
Scan star outdoors OZ-GD 10-3A, T Tauri, 2,952 credits, 1.7 stellar masses, absolute magnitude 3.7, orbital period 904,096.5 days, habitable zone 668 to 1,332 light seconds, age 8 million years.
Was crazy enough to travel all the way out there? What a nut. No, I'm not gonna do
Frameshift
that.
drive charging.
Read.
temperature at an AK-type star is typically 7,000 degrees Fahrenheit and 4,000 degrees Celsius. Planets. Edit. Some of the nearest K-type stars known to have planets include Alpha Centauri b, Epsilon Eridani, HD 192,310, Gliese 86, and 54 Piscium. See also. Edit. 1. Solar Analog. 2. Red Dwarf. 3. Stellar Classification.
First visit, jump distance 33.6 light years, Fuel used 4.6
I guess it
tons.
could be interesting
Fuel
to see all
left
the different types of stellar
26.5 tons.
classifications.
Total of 1 star and 2 planets in the system.
Oh. Lots of Jovian masses here.
Scan star outdoors ZS-PC19-08, orange main sequence K star, 2,912 credits, 0.8 stellar masses, absolute magnitude 6.2, orbital period 59,789.8 days, habitable zone 209 to 417 light seconds, age 12.96 billion years.
Finally, a system with some things that are yet unexplored. I guess I'll travel the 14,000 light seconds to investigate the one.
Fuel scooping.
We'll fuel up a little bit. I'll set my trajectory, and maybe I'll play a round of Hearthstone just to see how well this works.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Refueled 3.6 tons of fuel. Fuel level is now 30.11
Fuel
tons.
scoop disengaged.
Scooped 0.43 tons of fuel. Fuel level is now 30.54 tons.
Alright, 14,000 light seconds is probably at least a good 3 to 4 minutes. I think that's enough time for a round of Hearthstone. I'll just do a practice session. And I'll just do my let's see, I'll do yeah, the Shutterwalk deck. Why not? Try to prevent my head from bobbing around left and right. I know that can be a little bit disturbing. It's not a bad hand. The Murmuring Elemental is incredibly powerful. I can certainly fill up my hand very quickly with the Cold Light. Darkness. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. And that means I have to wait till turn 5 to use the Murmuring Elemental, though. Yes, I love Murgle. The Murloc. It's nice that they've actually made a new portrait area. Like, if you look off to the left of Morgul's profile, he has that little green and the tentacle-like things coming off into it, as compared to the Warlock to the left of his portrait. It's just the red with the gold trim. They've tried to make it unique. Not like I can do much there. Actually, I'm gonna make it full screen for you guys. Maybe not. We'll see how this is afterwards. Hopefully the size is visible. Yeah, he's got a much better board than me, that's for sure. Well, I guess might as well get some cards. Hey, there we go. Next turn I'll do the Murmuring Elemental and the Witch's Apprentice, or maybe the Sirenite Chenge. That could be useful for the darkness. That's funny. I don't know why he didn't just attack base. Too bad I don't have a way to board clear, because I could use the Murmuring Elemental with the Dirty Rat and then use like a Doomsayer to clear off a couple of his bigger cards. But we don't, and so... Actually, I have an idea. I'm going to use the Murmuring Elemental with the Darkness, and then that'll give 6 cards into his deck. So how about this? We'll do you. Oh, that's cool. Ha! Good. Yeah, that's... the Defender of Argus is always powerful. It's nice to get that pulled so he doesn't get the battle cry. We got lucky with that. I was half expecting to pull Mal'Ganis or one of those huge void demons. Alright, so we only have 5. Guess it's time to use you.
Scan Star Outdoors ZS-PC19-0B, Red Main Sequence M Star, 2,889 credits, 0.2 stellar masses, absolute magnitude 11.3, orbital period 59,789.8 days, habitable zone 19 to 39 light seconds, age 12.96 billion years.
I guess he has something he wants to do with his imps. Let's try this. So it should now do that twice, so we should get a total of 6. Good. And then we will do... Haha. He's going to be doing a ton of damage though. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 damage. Though he does seem to like to attack other minions. I don't know why. But at least that might destroy one of his 1/1s. He's been around. You can tell the guy's been playing for at least a little bit. He's got the Sunwell card back. So that's what, maybe like 6 months ago?
Get it out! Get it out!
Guess this is a very tiny little planet because it is not wanting to scan, even though I'm 55 light seconds away. Yep, how did I know he would do it? I guess that means he doesn't have anything to buff his demons. I don't know why he destroyed the 2/1 earlier. No waste.
Scanned Outdoors ZS-PC19-0B3, Rocky Ice Body, 1,029 credits, distance from arrival 14,514.2 light seconds, thick argon-rich atmosphere.
Rocky Ice World. Oh, there we got the second. All we need is one more, and we have a 2020 on the board, and it's pretty much game over. So he does what? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 damage per turn. And I have 20 health, so if I don't manage that board really effectively, Well, that was dangerous, doing a life tap when I have the darkness out. Crazy guy. Well, you know he's not going to be doing an AoE.
Scanned Outdoors CS-PC19-0B1, Rocky Ice Body, 1056 credits, distance from arrival 14,689.7 light seconds, thick nitrogen atmosphere.
Alright, so even if we get rid of a lot of the stuff on the board, I mean that's 8 plus 5, so that's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So let's do this. Let's get rid of that guy. Good. That. Pop is 4. He would still have to do that. Yes, now we have the 2020. Too bad I don't have another bone mare to be able to give that taunt. That would really help. Well, he knows if he doesn't kill it. If he doesn't... So he's going to have to blow the 5-5 on my 6-6. And that means he does not have enough for lethal. So he's going to have to try to kill my 2020. And if he was Druid, he would use Mulch. No, I know Warlock has a couple of abilities to destroy another person's minion.
Scanned Outdoors CS-PC19-0B1A, Icy Body, 914 credits, distance from arrival 14,689.4 light seconds, landable, no atmosphere.
Oh, clever. I blew that up. I thought he was going to use the 5-5 in one of his 1-1s and then keep the other 8-5 on hand. No, this guy just doesn't know how to play, I don't think. So let's see, so that's 20. Oh, we have victory. Let's do,
Stash that away.
this. Indeed, he was snuffed out. Goodbye, dear little boy. What's the quest for the day? 20 priest class cards. Alright, well, I do have my crazy big priest. I guess we can try that. %, hull. 2 heat sinks, no limpets, and I still have about, what, I think 2,500 light years to go. Yeah, so if I got actually only 2,000 light years now.
Scanned Outdoors ZS-PC19-0B2, Rocky Ice Body, 1040 credits, distance from arrival 14,929.3 light seconds, thick nitrogen atmosphere.
Well, you know this is going to be an aggro deck. Unfortunately. I'll get myself moving in that direction. Well, there's not much to do here, so we're just going to end the turn. Make sure the music is off. There we go. Alright, so, well, I can't do Excavated Evil yet, so we're just gonna have to heal ourselves. Too bad I don't have Dorian out. It would have been nice to be able to get the Lich King. Ouch! 4/4. Well, I mean, soon I guess I can do that. I can do a Spirit Lash. I don't want to waste the coin. So next turn I can do Excavated Evil. Well, that's a good thing.
Scanned Outdoors ZS-PC19-0B4, Icy Body, 1060 credits, distance from arrival 14,937.8 light seconds, thick methane-rich atmosphere.
Methane-rich atmosphere, huh? That always makes me curious. A 1-2, wow. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. In Northshire? Or Goldshire form. Alright, so let's, well, those things are dangerous, especially if he has some taunts on the board. Maybe we'll do this. And then we'll do, that's more for him, so let's do a little bit. That is a beast. And next turn I can do the summon 5/5.
I will hunt you down.
We'll do that. Guy who plays Overwatch. Excellent, you Sarge. That's exactly what we want. Now let's get our obsidian statue. Ooh, even better. Poor guy. What do you do to that, you know? Guess just try to go face. Why is he going against the 10-10 and not into the 5/5? Just foolish. It doesn't have any big minions. Guess I could do this.
Hearthstone. Tonight, a tale of terrible tragedy. Well played.
He's got no chance whatsoever. Poor guy. I thought to my side gave you 4 minions. Get rid of that because that's always a problem.
This one turned out nice.
Health back.
On with the show.
Yeah, this just always feels slightly brutal. So 8 of 20, I guess? Looks like that's correct. Let's go back and check the actual log. Yeah, 8 of 20. Alright, so I guess 2 more games and we should have our daily reward. Good old methane planet. Well, methane atmosphere, not a methane planet. Actually, it's an icy body. I wonder, does it have life on it? Let's find out. No volcanism, methane rich. 15% methane, 84% nitrogen. No volcanism, so I guess there's no heat for life. Probably not. It's not terraformable. Not going to be an aggro deck because it's a druid, but could be useful to keep the Shadow Word Horror to destroy any of his 2-cost minions early on. Not bad, not bad. Alright, let's see what else we haven't discovered in the system. It's a cool looking planet. I really do want them to add meteorite impacts. I would love to see some fiery piece of rock slamming into the ice sheet, turning it into a water world right before your eyes. That would be so cool.
My greetings. Greetings.
It's like he's gonna build up lots and lots of cards and then try to trounce me in the game. Luckily this deck should handle well, and that's it. But I really do need the ability to summon a 5/5 minion. Otherwise he can possibly beat me. With nothing dead, resurrects are useless. Kind of funny. Turn 4 and we still have no minions on the board.
This one turned out.
Hey, he's doing the same thing as me, Dorian. It's funny. I should probably do that actually. So you know what that means. He's going for big minions. Poor guy. Should have known not to do that. Priests have tons of ways to eradicate, to attack minions, and less. So we have Eternal Servitude. Doesn't need the heal. So how about we instead to try to discover a spell? Excellent. We need the Shadow Essence. I don't know if I really care so much about the Restore Health. I mean, it's a 0-cost card, so let's hold on to it. Well, now that there are two, that's a little dangerous. Well.
This one turned out nice.
That kills one.
Spectacular.
But he's not going to attack base, so the Restore Health is pointless.
Scanned Outdoors ZS-PC 19-0B6, Icy Body, 1047 credits, distance from arrival 14,519.9 light seconds, thin neon-rich atmosphere.
We're going to get pretty messed up now. Poor Dorian. He might actually win. Really didn't expect to see any of the rotten apple bombs. Didn't think they were going to be powerful enough. Dorian as the summon for the 5/5. I mean, it sounds nice in theory, but in practice, it's just not that great. Useful. Probably has the 4 points of damage, right? Guess what spells does he have? Oh no, that's interesting. Death Group. Oh, he's just fucking around now. Yeah, he's got the spell. Swipe.
Well played.
Well, apparently Priest against Druid is not as easy as I was hoping it was going to be.
Anduin versus Malfurion. I must protect the wild. The light shall bring victory.
Another Druid deck. Dangerous.
I
clever. Yeah, the tar elemental with Tolvir is actually really quite a good idea. Dang. I guess what they do. Getting messed up here. Oh no. There goes our game. No, why'd you have to do that? You bastard. Well, I guess we could always hope for your Sarge. I could silence it and then kill it. This tar creeper with the Cobalt Scalebane is going to be absolutely brutal. Even if I do the Excavated Evil, and it's going to knock it down to 2-2 for the health on both of them, I don't have another Excavated Evil. And even if I end up getting the Lifesteal ability to take 1 health for all minions on the board, it's still not going to be sufficient. Yeah, Spirit Lash. So I can do a Spirit Lash. Too bad I don't have Foulness in the deck. Foulness, we're up at the 2-2. At least I'll clear that. I can do... I should have done that first. That was foolish. Oh well. Well, we finally managed this board, kind of. And I guess we can drop down.
Scanned outdoors CS-PC 19-0B5. IC body, 1062 credits. Distance from arrival 15,427.7 light seconds. Thick argon-rich atmosphere.
Might actually be worthwhile to do that. Yeah, we'll definitely do the destroy all minions lower than 2. And then next turn we'll do the obsidian statue, because he'll have 7, 8, and that's, I don't know it's quite enough, is it? Yeah, it's 8. It's enough to destroy it. Let's see if he's... Yeah, okay, he's gonna pop down another minion. Oh god, 12-12. That's brutal. Well, at least we have the resurrect. You know what he's gonna do. He's gonna slam the 12-12 into the 4-8. And that means it'll probably kill off. Hopefully it doesn't give them 2. Oh, that's funny. He's going to use the smaller minion? That's an error. It's a great way to heal me up. He probably wants to try to get through so we can keep the 12-12 on the board. But that's always foolish because there's a chance once the obsidian statue pops, it's gonna... Oh, how is this plant? Brutal. So you intentionally wanted to keep it small because... now I can't pop it. That was brilliant. Well, we didn't win the game, but we at least got our daily quest finished. Not terrible. It's all a matter of just getting the cards you need when you need them. It would have been interesting if I ran the Shadow Essence. Could have gotten obsidian earlier.
Scanned Outdoors CS-PC19-0V7, Icy Body, 1040 credits. Distance from arrival 16,102.9 light seconds, thin neon atmosphere.
Alright, I think we almost got all of the, I think we did all of the bodies on this second star. Not bad. Alright, so... time to jump.
Frameshift drive charging.
Kind of amazing. I'm almost 3,000 light years away from the bubble, and I'm still finding
Here for
stars that
hyperspace
people
to system
have
outdoors
discovered.
YS-PC19-1,
Amazing.
orange main sequence K star, scoopable. Make it so.
I mean, granted, I am taking the path.
Arrive
from
at outdoors
NGC,
YS-PC19-1.
Nebula
First
to
visit, jump distance 33.5 light years, fuel used 4.6 tons, fuel left 24.7 tons. Total of 3 stars and 11 planets in the system.
That means the database has some information available to it. But yeah, I mean, it's probably pretty common for people to want to go to the Bubble, California Nebula, NGC 7822, and then to the Heart and Soul Nebula. And so the only way I'm going to really deviate here is if I choose a pathway that's kind of slightly out of the way. Maybe, I mean, I'm not obviously doing it straight to the Heart Nebula. This is kind of out of the way. Maybe I should even go like further afield. Maybe I should do something like this. Here, let's do this. want to make sure I'm out of the plane of NGC 7822. So let's try going here. We'll go to a blue star. And that should be slightly, yeah, so thankfully we're still traveling in a direction that's away from the bubble, so still that's 500 light years in addition to my current 2900 light years that I've racked up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that probably within about 3 to 4 jumps, I should start finding star systems that are completely undiscovered. I highly doubt anybody has been traveling. Well, that's not entirely true because the Elephant Trunk Nebula is right here, and if you're starting from either the Pleiades or the California Nebula, the Elephant Trunk Nebula is actually more famous than NGC 7822, and that's like dead on the pathway. So maybe the right thing to do is instead go this way. No, but then that's towards the bubble. So maybe I'll head out this way. Here. I don't see anything too interesting right here. Alright, so let's look for a blue star. Supposedly, the O-type stars are more likely to have black holes, and I want to test that theory. That's 1,000 light years. Let's see if I can actually pad this. Hey, wow, it's actually pretty impressive. Yeah, so I should still be counting towards this. I think that will be definitely off the beaten course. Again, I'm going from the bubble straight towards the hardens, and that's right along the way. So it doesn't matter if I go left or right. Maybe, not sure what the strategy is then. I need like something in between, I guess. Here. That was an intermediary. That's a good spot, I guess. Alright, well, we need to fuel up. Let's see what this system has for us. Just stars. And it's already been explored. Three objects, wow. I don't think there are any high-value systems to explore here, other than perhaps the gas giant that's at the edge of this particular star, but
Fuel scoping.
I want to try to get to areas that are completely untouched. I'm interested to know more about the different classifications for stars.
Refueled 5 tons of fuel, leaving level at 29.08 tons.
Read.
Scoop
1.
1.87
Solar
tons
Analog
of fuel,
2. Red
leaving
Dwarf
level at
3.
30.95
Stellar
tons.
Classification, Class K4. Star Count, Survey of Stars. 5. Habitability of K-type main sequence star systems. References, edit. 1. Jump up carat a modern mean stellar color and effective temperatures, TEF, hashtag sequence 409 VYOV dwarf stars, Emamogic, 2011, website 2. Jump up carat empirical bolometric corrections for the main sequence, GMHJ habits and JRW Heinze, Astronomy and Astrophysics Supplement 46, November 1980.
Read new. Read new. Read.
Stellar classification. In astronomy, stellar classification is the classification of stars based on their spectral characteristics. Electromagnetic radiation from the star is analyzed by splitting it with a prism or diffraction grating into a spectrum exhibiting the rainbow of colors interspersed with spectral lines. Each line indicates a particular chemical element or molecule, with the line strength indicating the abundance of that element. The strengths of the different spectral lines vary mainly due to the temperature of the photosphere, although in some cases there are true abundance differences. The spectral class of a star is a short code primarily summarizing the ionization state, giving an objective measure of the photosphere's temperature. Most stars are currently classified under the Morgan-Keenan (MK) system using the letters O, B, A, F, G, K, and M. A sequence from the hottest O type to the coolest M type. Each letter class is then subdivided using a numeric digit, with 0 being hottest and 9 being coolest, e.g. A8, A9, F0, and F1 form a sequence from hotter to cooler. The sequence has been expanded with classes for other stars and star-like objects that do not fit in the classical system, such as Class D for white dwarfs and classes S and C for carbon stars. In the MK system, a luminosity class is added to the spectral class using Roman numerals. This is based on the width of certain absorption lines in a star's spectrum, which vary with the density of the atmosphere and so distinguish giant stars from dwarfs. Luminosity Class 0 or A+ is used for hypergiants, Class 1 for supergiants, Class 2 for bright giants, Class 3 for regular giants, Class 4 for subgiants. Class 5 for main sequence stars, Class SD or V for subdwarfs, and Class D or 7 for white dwarfs. The full spectral class for the Sun is then G2V, indicating a main sequence star with a temperature around 5,800 K. Contents: height, 1 conventional color description, 2 modern classification, 2.1 Harvard spectral classification, 2.2 Yerkes spectral classification, 2.3 spectral peculiarities, 3 history,
System information unavailable.
3.4 Mount Wilson classes, 4 spectral types, 4.1 early and late nomenclature, 4.2 Class O, 4.3 Class B, 4.4 Class A, 4.5 Class F, 4.6 Class 4.8 Class M5 extended spectral types, 5.1 hot blue emission star classes, 5.1.1 Class W, Wolf Rayet, 5.1.2 the flashed stars, 5.2 cool 5.2.2 Class T, methane dwarfs, 5.2.3 Class Y, 5.3 late giant carbon star classes, 5.3.1 Class C, carbon stars, 5.3.2 Class S, 5.4 white dwarf classifications, 6 stellar remnants, 7 replaced spectral classes, 8 see also, 9 notes, 10 references, 11 external links. Conventional color description, edit, main article, green star, astronomy. The conventional color description takes into account only the peak of the stellar spectrum. However, in actuality stars radiate in all parts of the spectrum, and because all spectral colors combined appear white, The
First
actual
visit,
apparent colors
jump
the human
distance
eye would observe are
30.3
far
light
lighter
years.
than the
Fuel
conventional
used
color
3.6
descriptions would
tons.
suggest.
Fuel left 28.4
This means that the
tons.
simplified assignment of
Total
colors of the
1 star
spectrum
and
can be
0 planets
misleading.
in this system.
Excluding color contrast illusions in dim light, there are no green, indigo, or violet stars.
Scan
Red
star
dwarfs are a deep shade of orange, and brown dwarfs do not literally appear brown, but hypothetically would appear to be a dim gray to a nearby observer. Modern classification, edit. The modern classification system is known as the Morgan-Keenan MK classification. Each star is assigned a spectral class from the older Harvard spectral classification and a luminosity class using Roman numerals as explained below, forming the star's spectral type. Other modern stellar classification systems, such as the UBV system, are based on color indexes, the measured differences in 3 or more color magnitudes. Those numbers are given labels such as UV or BV, which represent the colors passed by 2 standard filters, e.g. ultraviolet, blue and visual. Harvard Spectral Classification, edit. The Harvard system is a one-dimensional classification scheme by astronomer Annie Jump Cannon, who reordered and simplified a prior alphabetical system. Stars are grouped according to their spectral characteristics by single letters of the alphabet, optionally with numeric subdivisions. Main sequence stars vary in surface temperature from approximately 2,000 to 50,000 K, whereas more evolved stars can have temperatures above 100,000 K. Physically, the classes indicate the...
So, just so you can see what I'm going through right now on Wikipedia, this is showing all the different class types for stars. So, O, B, A, F, G, K, M. And the star that we just jumped into, I believe, is a K-class star. So if we go to the system map, it certainly looks like it's K. So it could be a red star, yeah. And so it is GYG, according to this. Maybe that's just specifying the region of space. But class M, so it's an orange-red, chromatically a light orange-red by the looks of it. That specifies both mass and radius, and it's very weak in the hydrogen lines. It's interesting. $10.9 billion years old. No wonder it's getting cooler. Surface temperature is 2600. So I guess from that we can figure out what type of M it is. We don't want to use the Yerkes scale because that just looks kind of old school.
Physically, the classes indicate the temperature of the star's atmosphere and are
It's a shame there isn't a way to use a hotkey binding for read selection. Read next. Read next. Read next.
The stellar classification system is taxonomic based on type specimens, similar to classification of species in biology.
Oh, so I guess that does
The
work.
categories are defined by one or more standard stars for each category and subcategory, with an associated description of the distinguishing features. 55. Early and late nomenclature. Edit. Look up late type star or early type star in Wiktionary, the free dictionary. Stars are often referred to as early or late types. Early is a synonym for hotter, while late, it is a synonym for cooler. Depending on the context, early and late may be absolute or relative terms. Early, as an absolute term, would therefore refer to O or B, and possibly A stars. As a relative reference, it relates to stars hotter than others, such as early K, being perhaps K0, K1, and K3. Late, it is used in the same way, with an unqualified use of the term indicating stars with spectral types such as K and M. But it can also be used for stars that are cool relative to other stars, as in using late G to refer to G7, G8, and G9. In the relative sense, early means a lower Arabic numeral following the clasp letter, and late means a higher number. This obscure terminology is a holdover from an early 20th century model of stellar evolution, which supposed that stars were powered by gravitational contraction via the Kelvin-Helmholtz mechanism, which is now known to not apply to main sequence stars. If that were true, then stars would start their lives as very hot, early-type stars and then gradually cool down into late-type stars.
That's actually what I thought happened.
This mechanism provided ages of the Sun that were much smaller than what is observed in the geologic record, and was rendered obsolete by the discovery that stars are powered by nuclear fusion. 56. The terms early and late were carried over, beyond the demise of the model they were based on.
That's interesting. Well, it's funny to think that my original assumptions were how normal, or earlier physicists assumed the initial process kicked off. Then, I mean, sure, I know it's fusion that's starting the sequencing, and I guess if you're just in an area of space where you have lots of hydrogen and helium, then it's not even so much the compression from gravity, it's just there's a lot of source material, and so therefore it can burn hotter. And I guess that would kind of explain why if you're in a nebula, you get all of these blue-white stars, because there's just so much gas. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. It's really like fuel for a fire, right? You throw on a little bit of lumber, and it obviously burns a lot brighter and hotter. Over time, you have less of that material available, and it starts to get a much dimmer red. So that doesn't have anything to do with well, in a way it does have to do with the age of it, because as the fuel burns out it becomes red, but it doesn't say anything about the start. The start is purely dependent upon the amount of resources available to fuel the fire. So therefore, in the case of fusion, you just need lots of helium and hydrogen. Makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, I guess. Interesting. Read.
The stellar classification system is taxonomic based on type specimens, similar to classification of species in biology. The categories are defined by one or more standard stars.
So let's find out about classos. Read, stop. Read.
Classo, edit, main article, O-type star. See also, O-type main sequence star, blue giant, and blue supergiant. Artists' rendering of Zeta puppies, NO4 supergiant O-type stars are very hot and extremely luminous, with most of their radiated output in the ultraviolet range. These are the rarest of all main sequence stars. About 1 in 3 million, 0.00003% of the main sequence stars in the solar neighborhood are O-type stars, NB59. Some of the most massive stars lie within this spectral class.
I guess that's
O-type stars frequently have complicated surroundings that make measurement of their spectra difficult. O-type spectra formerly were defined by the ratio of the strength of the He2 lambda 4541 relative to that of He I lambda 4471, where lambda is the wavelength measured in angstroms. Spectral type O7 was defined to be the point at which the two intensities are equal, with the He I line weakening towards earlier types. Type 03 was, by definition, the point at which said line disappears altogether, although it can be seen very faintly with modern technology. Due to this, the modern definition uses the ratio of the nitrogen line NIV lambda 4058 to N3 lambda lambda 4634 4042 57. Due to this, the modern definition uses the ratio of the nitrogen line NIV lambda 4058 to N3 lambda lambda 4634 4042 57. O-type stars have dominant lines of absorption and sometimes emission for He2 lines, prominent ionized CIV, O3, N3, and C3, and neutral helium lines, strengthening from O5 to O9, and prominent hydrogen bomber lines, although not as strong as in later types. Because they are so massive, O-type stars have very hot cores and burn through their hydrogen fuel very quickly, so they are the first stars to leave the main sequence. When the MKK classification scheme was first described in 1943, the only subtypes of Class O used were O5 to O9.5, 58. The MKK scheme was extended to O9.7 in 1971, 59, and O4 in 1978, 60, and new classification schemes that O3 and O3.5 have subsequently been introduced, 61. Spectral Standards, 55, O7V, Esmanasorotis O9V 10 Lasser D.
It's interesting. So none of the stars in the Orion constellation, I think, are O-class stars. There are a lot of blue-class stars, but I guess that makes sense because I was kind of assuming that there were a proportionate number of Class O stars as there were Class B stars, and so I was just obviously mistaken on that point. Well, we're almost at the star we wanted to get to. 10,000 light seconds to go. At 170 C coulombs. Kind of incredible to think that each one of these little bars that you're seeing is indicating 135 light seconds. And that's why light is actually going backwards as we're accelerating beyond it. It's kind of an amazing thing. I really wish the game accounted for the shift from like 0.9 light seconds to 1.5 light seconds a little bit more carefully, because if you're at 0.9 light seconds, light should still technically be going faster than you, and so the light should be moving forward and you should start to see like sheets of light. Then once you hit 1.1, then it slowly starts moving backwards. That'd be cool.
Scan star outer DGY-GB38-0B, dark red non-main sequence L star, 2,886 credits, 0.1 stellar masses, absolute magnitude 12.9, orbital period 591870 days, habitable zone 10 to 19 light seconds, age 10.96 billion years.
Frameshift drive charging.
Jumping to system outer DS-1B37-0, red main sequence M star, scoopable. Warp drive engaging. DS-1B37-0, first visit, jump distance 34.3 light years, fuel used 4.9 tons, fuel left 26.5 tons. System information unavailable. Scan star outer DS-1B37-0, red main sequence M star, 2,895 credits, 0.3 stellar masses, absolute magnitude 8.7, habitable zone 64 to 129 light seconds, age 11.78 billion
Fuel
years.
scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging.
Refueled 5.53 tons of fuel, leaving level at 32 tons. Jumping to system outer DAH-KB36-0, red main sequence M star, scoopable. Hold on tight. Arrived at outer DAH-KB36-0, first visit, jump distance 33.5 light years, fuel used 4.6 tons, fuel left 27.4 tons. Ship computer has no other information on this system. Scan star outer DAH-KB36-0A, red main sequence M star, 2,891 credits, 0.3 stellar masses, absolute magnitude 10.3, orbital period 186,674.4 days, habitable zone 32 to 63 light seconds, age 10.4 billion years.
Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive
Scoop
charging.
4.61 tons of fuel, fuel level is now 32 tons. Jumping to system outer DY5-LB35-0, red main sequence M star, scoopable. Hold on tight. Arrived at outer DY5-LB35-0, first visit, jump distance 26.4 light years, fuel used 2.6 tons, fuel left 29.4 tons. Total of 1 star and 4 planets in the system. Scan star outer DY5-LB35-0A, red main sequence M star, 2,895 credits, 0.4 stellar masses, absolute magnitude 8.9, orbital period 8702784.9 days, habitable zone 61 to 121 light seconds, age 6.47 billion years.
Fuel scooping complete.
Refueled 2.59 tons of fuel, fuel level is now 32 tons.
It's kind of amazing that I'm still running into systems that have already been fully explored this far out, 3,000 light years.
Prepare for hyperspace to system outer DRE-PB33-0, red main sequence M star, scoopable. Hold on tight. Arrived at outer DRE-PB33-0, first visit, jump distance 29.1 light years, fuel used 3.3 tons, fuel left 28.7 tons. Google search on this system indicates no information available. Scan star outer DRE-PB33-0A, red main sequence M star, 2,894 credits, 0.3 stellar masses, absolute magnitude 9.4, orbital period 6,379 days, habitable zone 48 to 95 light seconds, age 9.66 billion years.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
So max distance from start, 3,108 light years.
Scoop 3.27
Charging.
tons of fuel, leaving level at 32 tons. Jumping to system outer DLD-RB32-0, red main sequence M star, scoopable. Hold on tight. Arrive at outer DLD-RB, age 10.31 billion years.
Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging.
Scoop 4.95 tons of fuel, leaving level at 32 tons.
I'll probably be practically
Prepare for
by the time
hyperspace
this
to
is done.
system outer D1X-SB31-0, red main sequence M star, scoopable. Hold on tight.
I'll lose my mind if I bring this back and some crazy bastard decides to blow the
Arrive
ship.
at outer D1X-SB31-0, first visit, jump distance 32.1 light years, fuel used 4.2 tons, fuel left 27.8 tons. No other information on system.
Hey, finally a system that's unexplored. What do you know?
Scan star outer D1X-SB31-0A, red main sequence M star, 2,894 credits, 0.3 stellar masses, absolute magnitude 9.8, orbital period 83,093.3 days, habitable zone 40 to 81 light seconds, age 4.54 billion years.
I would say that's probably a good 200 to 300 light years away from the NGC. Oh, let me see if I can actually measure it, get a real number rather than just my guesstimate. Actually, I'm curious about that designation NGC. $444, so I was off by 2 times the actual number. Wow, that's kind of incredible. Some people were saying that the S designation on these stands for supernova remnant. I mean, that would make sense why we have this huge nebula here in the first place, but Jesus, what? There was a chain reaction. This one blew up, and then this one blew up, and so on and so forth. It'd be kind of interesting if that can occur, but supernova remnant. Sounds cool, like the name of a band. So we have to travel 400 light years from a nebula to find stuff that's new. I wouldn't be surprised if every nebula in this game has been visited. I bet you that's the case. Maybe unless you go Unless you travel maybe like here. It's probably only like this region of space that has anything that's really like truly unexplored. But there aren't a lot of nebulas over here. It's kind of strange. Wonder why not. Guess their system for generating fun things to observe just figured the distribution would, for whatever reason, be around Seoul. Well, there's Vegna, Hypad. Obviously, these things don't really exist because we really can't see on the opposite side of the galaxy, but it's interesting. You can hear my little bird getting upset. She wants attention. Sure, let's bookmark it. Sorry. I think it's very informative to be able to look at the bookmarks showing my discoveries of completely clear systems. It really does give a sense of how far you have to travel before you can find something that's genuinely untouched.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
It's a bit of a trip.
Scooped 4.17 tons of fuel, leaving level at 32 tons.
So let's find out about that NGC designation. And a bit of a trip in front of us. That's so funny. So I'm noticing that the new general catalog also includes coins. Well, let's find out about this new general catalog. Read. Read.
New General Catalog. The New General Catalog of Nebulian Clusters of Stars, abbreviated as NGC, is a catalog of deep sky objects compiled by John Lewis Emil Dreyer in 1888, as a new version of John Herschel's General Catalog of Nebulian Clusters of Stars. The NGC contains 7,840 objects, known as the NGC objects.
That's it. That's funny.
It is one of the largest comprehensive catalogs, as it includes all types of deep space objects, including galaxies, star clusters, emission nebulae and absorption nebulae. Dreyer also published 2 supplements to the NGC in 1895 and 1908, known as the Index Catalogs, describing a further 5,386 astronomical objects. Objects in the sky of the southern hemisphere are catalogued somewhat less thoroughly, but many were observed by John Herschel or James Dunlop. The NGC had many errors, but an attempt to eliminate them was initiated by the NGC-IC project in 1993. After partial attempts with the revised New General Catalog, RNGC, by Jack W. Salentic and William G. Tift in 1973, and then GC 2000.0 by Roger W. Sinnott in 1988. The revised New General Catalog and Index Catalog was compiled in 2009 by Wolfgang Steineck. Contents: Hide 1 Original Catalog.
Scan star outer D1X-SB31-0B, dark red non-main sequence L star, 2,885 credits, 0.1 stellar masses, absolute magnitude 13.7, orbital period 83,093.3 days, habitable zone 6 to 13 light seconds, age 4.54 billion years.
Read.
Contents: Hide 1 Original Catalog.
Read
2
stop.
Index Catalog.
Read new. Read.
The original New General Catalog was compiled during the 1880s by John Lewis Emil Dreyer using observations from William Herschel and his son John, among others. Dreyer had already published a supplement to Herschel's General Catalog of Nebulian Clusters, GC1, containing about 1,000 new objects. In 1886, he suggested building a second supplement to the General Catalog, but the Royal Astronomical Society asked Dreyer to compile a new version instead. This led to the publication of the New General Catalog in the Memoirs of the Royal Astronomical Society in 1888-3. Assembling the NGC was a challenge, as Dreyer had to deal with many contradicting and unclear reports, made with a variety of telescopes with apertures ranging from 2 to 72 inches. While he did check some himself, the sheer number of objects meant Dreyer had to accept them as published by others for the purpose of his compilation. The catalog contained several errors, mostly relating to position and descriptions, but Dreyer referenced the catalog, which allowed later astronomers to review the original references and publish corrections to the original NGC.
Read next. Read next. Read next. Read next. Read next. Read next.
Dex Catalogue.
That's funny. Read next. Read next. Read.
New General Catalog.
That's
The new
unfortunate.
General Catalog of Nebulae and Clusters of Stars, abbreviated as NGC, is a catalog of deep sky objects compiled by John Lewis Emil
Read.
Dreyer in
I was trying to use a trick where I would select the text, have it read it, and then hopefully it would continue to read beyond that point by using the read next command. Unfortunately, it did not work as I had hoped. Just have to select the text by hand. Read.
John Lewis Emil Dreyer in 1888 as a new
Read.
He first major update to the
Read,
NGC is the index.
Read next. Read next. Read.
He first major update to the NGC is the Index Catalog of Nebulae and Clusters of Stars, abbreviated as IC. Published in 2 parts by Dreyer in 1895, ICA 5, containing 1,520 objects, and 1908, IC2 6, containing 3,866 objects. It serves as a supplement to the NGC, and contains an additional 5,386 objects, collectively known as the IC objects. It summarizes the discoveries of galaxies, clusters, and nebulae between 1888 and 1907, most of them made possible by photography. A list of corrections to the IC was published in 1912. 7. Revised New General Catalog. Edit. The Revised New Catalog of Non-Stellar Astronomical Objects, abbreviated as RNGC, was compiled by Jack W. Salentic and William G. Tift in the early 1970s, and was published in 1973. As an update to the NGC 8, the work did not incorporate several previously published corrections to the NGC data, including corrections published by Dreyer himself, and introduced some new errors. Clarification needed. 4. Nearly 800 objects are listed as non-existent in the RN.
SB31-0 of 1. IC body. 1,256 credits. Distance from arrival 27,190.5 light seconds. Helium atmosphere.
It's kind of cool. Helium atmosphere. But before we go flying off, let's go check out this planet. Did it say landable? I don't know. I didn't quite catch that. Well, we'll get in close and find out for ourselves. Oops, I think I'm going to overshoot. Do a very close flyby at high speeds. It's always kind of fun. No, I'm pretty sure we can't land on that. Cool if it could though. Yeah, it doesn't show the blue indicator. Bummer. Looks like a neat planet.
Frameshift drive charging.
System explored. Success. Read.
Nearly 800 objects are listed as non-existent in the RNGC. The designation is applied to objects which are duplicate catalog entries, those which were not detected in subsequent observations, and a number of objects cataloged as star clusters which in subsequent studies were regarded as coincidental groupings. A 1993 monograph considered the 229 star clusters called non-existent in the RNGC.
First visit.
They had been
Jump
misidentified or have
32.6 light years. Fuel used 4.3 tons. Fuel left 27.0 tons.
I mean, I would expect maybe
Lookup of Wikipedia has
misplaced
failed.
or
I can't find anything on this
slightly
system.
as slightly off in terms of their
Scan
description,
star
but
outer D5X-LD7-12A, white main sequence F star, 2,948 credits, 1.6 stellar masses, absolute magnitude 2.9, orbital period 1,455.5 days, habitable zone 928 to
I'm gonna be right back.
1,852
I
light
have to deal
seconds,
with a very
age
irate bird.
294 million years.
You're being really bad, Bubs. What is this? Stop. All right, I think that this is probably going to be it for today. It's almost time. What is the time? Time. Yeah, I got stuff to do at 2 o'clock, so we're going to have to end this early. Let's see how far we've managed to go. All right. So I am now 3,156 light years. So getting closer. I guess we just need another 1,800 or so to be able to finally claim Palin. It's an amazing distance to have traveled. 41,000 light years. I think the size of the galaxy is somewhere around there. Sure, we can do a quick search. Just because that seems insane. Off screen. Let's see, diameter of the Milky Way is what? 100,000 light years. So I've technically traveled half the distance of the entire. Whoa, 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 whoa! That was a little scary. Almost flew right into the star trying to save my controller. That would have been bad. Okay, we'll just juice up, fly off. It's a little strange standing while flying around. Completely different feel. Maybe I'll have to try this more often. What an amazing view. What an amazing view. God. And I guess that'll be it. We'll leave with this particular view because it is absolutely beautiful. That's all she wrote.